Welcome back. There is a live look from the Oregon coast in Lincoln City, our In It Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Yoga isn't just a helpful practice for adults, but for kids as well. Here to show us some yoga moves to help reduce anxiety in kids, we welcome the author of 108 Awesome Yoga Poses for Kids, Lauren Chaitoff. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So let's start with just the overall benefits of yoga, not just for adults, but for our young ones as well.
Absolutely. And I always say a lot of the benefits adults get are the same for children. You know, focus, concentration, helping reduce stress and anxiety, helping children really with self-regulation. Yoga is a great coping strategy for children when they're having those big feelings and emotions and they don't know how to handle them.
Do you have a couple of easy ways to get started if you want to introduce your kids to yoga, but maybe you're not an expert yogi yourself?
Absolutely. I always say the perfect place to start is the breath, because when we teach children how you breathe can change how you feel, that is such a helpful tool. So one exercise I love to do is called the lion's breath, and I'd love to share that with you now.
Sure, please.
So lion's breath is great if you have a child that's feeling really angry, which is a natural feeling, and sometimes kids don't know how to cope with that. So what we do is we'll tell them to scratch their lion paws, to stick out their lion chest, take a big breath in, and then and they stick out their tongue, and that big exhale, it's a big release for them. And I like to tell them it helps make the anger get a little bit smaller.
That's a really helpful way to just, get some of that negativity out of your body as quickly as you can.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another one I like when kids are feeling really anxious, just having them kind of release and hang over like a little rag doll, shaking out their limbs, shaking out their head, yes or no. Really simple, but just allowing them to release that tension in their body can be very helpful. You know, that mind-body connection is so strong, and when children are feeling stressed and tense, they often hold it in their body.
Okay, as do we, right? I mean, we're all kind of dealing with those different levels of what's stressing us out at any given day. You have a couple more moves to share with us as well.
Yes. So another exercise that I like to do, again, going back to the breath, really simple, right? You can do this in the morning before, going to school is often a hard time for parents and caregivers. And this is called the sun breath. So really easy. We just catch the sun, take a big breath in, and then we let it go. And again, we catch the sun and we let it go. Just like that. And then you could shake out those limbs again. And a nice way to either start the day as well as ending it. You know, bedtime is another time where kids start to get anxious and all those thoughts kind of creep through their mind. So taking those nice sun breaths before bed can be quite relaxing for them.
Yeah, a great way to harness some of that energy too when things are crazy in the morning and everybody's going different directions getting out the door.
You are exactly right. Yep, we've all been there. So
absolutely.
Those are two very helpful ones.
Okay, and you've got one more pose for us?
Yeah, so another pose that we can do is called the mouse pose. So that's the child's pose. I hope you can see me here, but that's just when there you go, there's a good image. Just folding over, taking a few nice deep breaths here in that child's pose and that mouse pose can be very restorative for children and adults. And as a parent or caregiver, even just placing a gentle hand on the child's back while they're doing that, asking them to take some deep breaths in that position is very soothing and calming for anyone, child or adult.
It's always really satisfying at the end of a yoga session to be in child's pose and just release and feel like you accomplished something too.
Yes, again, going back to that mind-body connection and teaching children about that at a young age is so helpful for them.
Do you have a quick way to maybe draw kids into kind of beginning their breathing or posing because they're just kind of going nuts and you want to kind of calm them in a certain moment?
Yeah, so one thing that we like to do, it's really simple, right? It's just have the children come into a mountain pose, right? Just standing nice and tall like this and telling them to stand nice and straight, nice and strong like a mountain. And then we take our big hands, place them on our belly, and take a few, feel like the belly is blowing up like a balloon. Children imagery is so helpful. So those big hands on their belly, we take a big breath in, and you could feel the belly expand, and then we pop the balloon. So using imagery is great. We also have a breathing ball. This is a Hoperman sphere, and this is just great, a visual for the breath. The inhale, the belly gets big. Exhale, exhale, the belly gets small.
Awesome. Easy stuff we can absolutely practice at home. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.